right, well, between April and September of last year, more than 24 million people left their jobs. Now, it was an all-time record, now known as the Great Resignation.
Yeah, the top reason people left to escape a toxic work environment. A recent study from MIT found that a toxic culture is 10 times more powerful than compensation in predicting a company's turnover rate.
Yeah, so how do you know if your company culture is toxic? Well, we have someone for you. John Mattone is the CEO and co-founder of the Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaching. He's here to help us answer that question, so thank you for being here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
All right, so give us an idea of how or what a toxic culture looks like in the workplace.
Well, first of all, there's no question we've got a massive issue with the Great Resignation. Corey and Aaron, you know, one of the big things that I see is if you go to work, and it doesn't matter what level that you're at, and you don't know the vision, mission, purpose of your organization and the values, that's a big time issue. You can still know the mission, vision, values of your organization, and you know, if the organization or the senior leaders are not walking the talk, that's a massive issue. The other element is, you know, if you're not aligned with the mission, that's an issue. There's also all kinds of things that you can look at related to trust issues, obviously absenteeism issues, and also fear. I think fear is a really big one coming out of the pandemic. Fear of opening your mouth, fear of being honest, and really honestly, fear of retribution.
So if you're in a place that's toxic, right, like you kind of know. It's not like it's a secret to anybody. You know that you're in a toxic workplace, but you know, I assume in a lot of places, like you're a cog in this giant machine. So what does the cog do? Can the cog do anything other than leave?
Well, here's what's happening. I mean, and the two of you know this, and obviously those who are watching understand this. What does a bad culture do? Culture absolutely, whether it's a family, whether it's a startup, a Fortune 500 company, it doesn't matter. Literally, a bad culture is going to rip the heart, mind, and soul out of a human being. And we all know that, guess what? We have nothing, right? So the thing about culture is it is a leading indicator of driving operating success. And, you know, those organizations that attend to that notion that, listen, if we want operating success and we want to sustain that operating success, you know, we got to cultivate heart, mind, and soul. So therein lies the interesting thing, Corey and Aaron, that, you know, where's the Great Resignation coming? People are leaving because their heart, mind, and soul is not being polished and cultivated. And that's a huge issue. But here's what's even worse, and nobody's talking about this. I've discovered with my team that we've got something on the horizon that's probably even worse, and it's going to create an avalanche, and that's what I call the Great Recoil. What's the Great Recoil? Well, it's the trauma caused by a bad culture in combination with the pandemic. And what's happening is some people are mobilizing. You know what I'm doing? They're saying, hey, I'm out of here. I'm going to go find a place that cultivates my heart, mind, and soul. But a lot of people are so traumatized that they're actually staying in the organization. They just haven't mobilized yet, but they're going to mobilize very soon. So ultimately, the smart organizations, and I'm talking to the CEOs and the boards of directors, and even some of these private equity firms that are funneling big time money into these companies. You know, what's really interesting is you can have a great product and you can have a great service and you can have a market for those. But if you're not creating a culture that supports the operating imperative, and you're not creating a culture that really supports and cultivates the heart, mind, and soul, the very drivers of success in that business, guess what? It doesn't really matter in the end.
Preach, John.
Right.
Preach it. Preach it.
We could continue this conversation, John.
I hope all the bosses out there and the leaders and the CEOs, I hope they're watching right now because you're speaking the truth. I know it. John Mattone, thank you so much for being with us right now.
Great honor to be with you. Thank you so much.